Welcome back to Buff-A-Touille. Today we're going to take a break from making food and we're going to do something that's really important. Today we're going to learn a few different ways to sharpen a knife. So a lot of us don't necessarily do this often, but we really should. So I'm really excited for you to see what we're going to do today, and let's introduce what that looks like. All right, so what makes today extra special is we have a microscope. So we're going to actually be able to see what's going on the blade. And we're going to test sharpening in 3 different ways. So the first one is what is in really every knife set would be a sharpening steel. Different names for this. So we're going to test that one out. We're going to do a carbide insert sharpening tool, which actually removes the steel. And then we're going to use an electric knife sharpener that is highly rated and available online. And for each of those tests, we will compare the before and afters on paper as well as cutting tomato. So really excited, and we're going to start first with a paper test and then a tomato test. So we've got 2 different knives here. They're both very dull, never been sharpened. So just want to show off a single piece of paper. So you can see the difference in these 2 knives. One has the steel on the end, the other one doesn't. So we'll just do a paper test. I don't know if you're able to see that or not, but it really, all it did was tear the paper. And then I also do, while I hold the paper, I've got the other one here. Really same situation, I can barely get it into the paper. And then for the tomato, we're just going to lightly run the knife over the tomato. I don't know if you can see here, it doesn't even want to, it just wants to run right off the skin. And the one with the steel, it kind of went in, just a really light abrasion. So these are about equal dullness as far as I can tell. Okay, so we're going to start off. This is the knife without the steel on it. What we're looking at here is the microscope screen. This edge right here is the cutting edge. With the naked eye, you can't see that. So what we're really looking at is this edge here. I'll show the left and the right side. This side, see if I can get the lighting just a little better there. Now, what we don't really notice is dullness, but there's a black edge right along the cutting point. And you'll see that goes throughout the entire length. I want to go over to this side. We're going to see that as well. For some reason, it's a little easier to see on this side, but we're really looking at this black line right here. All right, so first of all, I am not a professional knife sharpener, so I'm going to do things the way that most home cooks are going to do. The one thing we're not doing today is a whetstone, but we're going to do what's most commonly available to us. So in this case, it's going to be, we're going to pull this out of our knife set, and there are different angles that are important and depending on the different types of knives. But just based off of this knife, we'll do what I think most home chefs would do, which would be approximately about a 15-degree angle. We want to hit both of these sides. There are different techniques. One is to hold it down and just draw it across. We're going to do this about 15 to 20 times. Hopefully my assistant is counting. All right. So with that, let's set this here. I feel like that's probably more than what most people would do with this tool. So we'll do a paper cut next. We can see now it actually cuts into the paper, so we are making progress. But so that was nice. That was nice to see. We'll cut that tomato now. I'm not putting any pressure, but you'll notice we got into the tomato about an inch, so it did work quite well. Right, so now we're going to look at it again underneath the microscope. We're just going to look on the right-hand side. For some reason, you can see a little better there. But you'll notice that black line. You can still kind of see a faint line here on the right side, but it is not as predominant as it was. But we still do have some spots in there, so we do have some inconsistencies. All right, so here's the analysis. This tool here, it does work. However, there's a large amount of variation. It could be from the different way you angle it, the different way you draw the knife through, the number of cycles you go through. So it can work really well if you're able to do it the consistent way every single time. If you don't have anything else, at least use this. So you can see we can now at least cut some paper and cut some tomato. So next we're going to move on to our next knife sharpener. All right, so that's the first knife. Second knife, I'll just show this right side because it's going to be very similar. Get the zoom level correct here. This one here looks just a little different. Oh, look at that. This one here's got a little bit of jaggedness to it. Getting blurry. There's that dark spot that we really want to get rid of. See, it increases throughout. We got a lot of variation in that. That's a very interesting spot right there. Okay, so we obviously have a very dull knife. And just for a reference point, that spot is on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th indent approximately. Okay. All right, so now we're going to move on to the other knife with a carbide insert knife sharpener. There's a lot of different ones out on the market. This happens to be one that if any of you are familiar with our family, you know that this has been our family for 40 years or so. Father used to produce these, but same angle, or the intention here is to use the carbide inserts to remove the steel. So we're going to run this through, about 5 or 10 passes. All right, so we just used the carbide knife sharpener. Now I did run the knife through tissue to remove the excess filing, so we're on it, but I think we'll see a significant difference. So this is the result of that one. As you recall before, it really put in cutting paper. I did do about 10 passes through. Got a fresh tomato here. I'm gonna draw across the tomato. And our cut was pretty similar. Our cut was pretty similar to this stone. So I would say we have two knives that are roughly similar sharpness. So one of the reasons not to use that one would be you are actually removing metal. And you may not want to do that on the different types of knives that you're using. Okay, so we're going to run this one through the microscope now. And I am marking about that 7th point. You can see here it looks to be pretty sharp. There's a little thread hanging there. I got my finger on that 7. I'm going to just advance to that. You recall where it was kind of messed up before. I would say we got a couple little spots that aren't quite cleaned up, but a few more passes through that. Here we go. So it is sharper, but we can make it sharper yet. All right, so now we're going to pull through our most controlled situation here. This is a Chef's Choice electric knife sharpener. We have a right or a left side, a right side, left side, right side, left side, right side, and they all have different capabilities. With this tool, you can sharpen serrated knives, and there's different techniques as well as single-sided knives like Japanese knives. But we're just going to do the basic one here, so we're going to go through all of these multiple times, and then we'll test it. Okay, so now we're going to do our test. After taking this through approximately 20 to 30 times per side, I did a test midway through and decided to take it through some more. So now we're going to do our paper test. You can see it's significantly sharper now. I think because we used this on the Carbide insert one, it changed the angle, so we had to grind that angle back out, and now we're extra sharp. So we'll do a tomato test. This tomato has been through a lot today. Thank you, tomato, for your sacrifice. And it cut that like butter. I think we'll try and do a real thin cut here, which apparently I am not very good at. Well, you can see the knife through that one, so that's a pretty thin cut. All right, so now we have this underneath the microscope again. You can see it does look quite a bit different. I think the reason it looks different is it put a different cutting angle on it compared to what was there. And I am taking it through that section where we did see some deformities before. All right, so thank you for joining us on our test today. The important thing is that you keep your knife sharp. No matter what technique you use, don't let them go dull. That's how accidents happen. So find the one that you like and keep them sharp, and enjoy your Buff-A-Touille experiences with a sharp knife in the future.